strategy, why you chose
Yeah.
that, and why you started with that. And if we look at, like, COVID-19 threw everybody out, for example. But maybe just tell us why, and that is a key strategy for you, and why.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, part of the market analysis that we did a few years ago, well, I knew that the market on the Cape Flats is changing based on um, economic situation that was happening. We've seen the likes of the Atlantic seaboards, etc. It's flourishing and it's growing, but a lot of people neglected to see what's happening on the outskirts. And for me, I always knew I won't be able to, as a beginner, I won't be able to get into that particular market, and that's why I narrowed my focus to look at where I grew up, the Cape Flats. I knew that particular area, and what we saw was we saw it at the right time. We saw it at the very very right time. When I got involved in the first property, um, property prices were very. If I can make this example, so my brother bought a property in 2009. In 2001, round about there, he paid 120,000 rand for that property. I then bought a property in 2009 for 340,000 rand, 8 year difference, and that intrigued me quite a lot because it's basically the same area that we bought in, but the growth over 8 year span was more than 100%. In fact, more than 200%, and that for me was a wake up to say that here's a specific trend developing here. And when we got into our first property, um, I knew the market was changing because we were looking at we had this market analysis, and we saw the prices were busy creeping up. Um, when we bought the property, at the time, properties were selling for 200, 250 in that particular area. When we got in, and when we sold, that same property or the area that sold for 475,000 rand. The property that I bought in 2009, 2010, that property was then valued at about 450 to 500,000 during the same time. Now that same property that I bought it for 340,000 is now valued at about 1,050,000, 1.1. You know, so if you look at the growth aspect is phenomenal.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. No, wonderful. I think you've explained that very nicely.